Today I want to talk about one of my favorite grind zones in all of Black Desert Online. If you've recently started playing BDO, you've acquired your free pen Black Star, your free Tep Black Star, you've made your season character, you've started grinding the game, you've gotten your health pot, your mana pot, and you're just looking for what's next. Underwater, well, the topic of today's video, Underwater, is one of the better grind spots that you can dive right into. Not a lot of people talk about Underwater anymore. Not a lot of people revisit Underwater anymore. And overall, it's pretty much deserted. So if you ever get to go there, you should, in theory, have a spot all to yourself. Underwater is a zone located out in the middle of the ocean. Surprise, it is actually underwater. It is north right above Ilia Island. And as you can see, Underwater is a zone that you will have a couple of different ways to get to, and we'll all discuss those. Underwater has two sides, so it has the upper side and it has the lower side. The lower side is a little bit more difficult than the upper. As you can see right away, the upper side needs a 350 AP and a 210 DP, and the lower side requires that higher 600 290 with double pen Black Star, Ben Black Star, and Tep Black Star. Starting to reform your gear into pen, you should overall have the damage and have the gear to start your way into Underwater. The grind on here is really good. The profit's insane. And even if we look at Garmoth in a little bit, you'll see that overall you can make pretty good money as a mid-game grind zone. This, like I had mentioned, is one of my favorite grind zones in the entire game. I find myself coming here quite often. Even when I can grind other spots, I like the chill environment. I like hunting the Tungrad Rings. And overall, it has some other really cool nifty features that we'll go over in a little bit. Underwater, being in the middle of the ocean, has three very unique ways that we can get to it. The first way is this griffin right here. You can actually hop on this griffin. This griffin will take you from Velia. You can see I'm located right outside of Velia. This griffin will bring you all the way over to Ilia Island. It will drop you off at Ilia Island, and then we'll run to the north of Ilia Island here, and we get to swim to Underwater. I know that's a little weird. You're like gonna swim into Underwater, but it'll all make sense once we get out there. The second option for getting into Underwater is to come into town, head on over to the marketplace right over here, and buy yourself a traveler's map. The traveler's map will allow you to actually port straight over to Ilia Island. If you haven't been over to Ilia Island before, then you're going to have to go boat out there or have someone bring you out there and get you what you need to get. The third option is taking the boat out to Ilia Island and out into Underwater. If you decide that you want to go to Underwater and you are going to make that journey, there are a couple of things you need to know. First, we're going to come up over here to the church. The church being located right here. You can actually see it's a big church. If you can't find this, in the top right, there is a Find NPC button. We can click Silver Church and it'll bring us right here to the Silver Church. We'll talk to this gentleman here and we'll grab all three buffs. We'll grab the attack buff, the protection buff, and the experience buff. 30 million silver will last you 300 minutes. And honestly, for that, you can't beat it. It'll give you a ton of AP, a ton of DP, a ton of experience, and it'll just be a really good addition to your grind. Underwater is packed with tons and tons of mobs, and if you're 60-61, you'll get an insane amount of experience. Now, I had mentioned that we need a couple of things to go into Underwater. First, we're going to do the church buffs, and second, we're going to buy something off the marketplace. But before we do that, let's get on over to my boat and start making our way to Underwater. Underwater in itself is a little bit of a drive to get to, so I want to make sure that I have my pathing going and I can get out there. Now, taking a boat in itself will be one of the slower routes to getting to Underwater, but probably, I don't know. I mean, the griffin's really nice. Like, you get a really good scenery. So if you're like really about all that scenery, like taking the griffin's really nice. Porting with a traveler's map is actually going to be the extreme fastest way to get out there, but taking a boat is the easiest way to get back. If you are to traveler's map to Underwater, you will need an alt tagged for your character so that you can get back relatively easily. And we'll talk about getting back from Underwater in a second. Let's just get my pathing all set up and get rolling. To get to Underwater, like I had mentioned, we will traveler's map there. We'll go over to the Underwater right in the middle of the ocean. And there's two ways to get into Underwater once we're there. The first way being to escape, which is the route we're going to take today. And the other way is to swim down below. My buddy Maya likes to swim down below. He's a little crazy. I know there's other people out there that like to swim down to Underwater. That is not for me. I am not going to go swim down there when I can escape in. Leaving Underwater because we're under the water is a little bit of a hassle. I will not lie to you guys. I will not sugarcoat it. I will tell you the truth. It is a bit of a pain in the butt. There are two ways to leave Underwater. Leaving underwater, step one is to have a tagged character. It is the absolute easiest way. You swap over to your tagged character, you remove all the gear, you remove all the crystals, you die to the mobs, resurrect in the closest town. That'll put you out, I believe, on Ilia Island, and then use the alt character or the tag character and map back over to Velia. Takes like 2 minutes, you map back over. A lot of people don't like that. They don't like dying on their tag characters. They don't like risking and losing the experience. They just don't like dying, so they don't do it. I think it's the absolute fastest way. 1% on a tagged alt character is fine unless you're really pushing experience and you're really worried about the experience. If you're really, really worried about the experience, you can use on your tag character Traveler's Map, go to Ilia Island, run back to the north of Ilia Island, swim out to your boat, and path all the way back. That's the route that I'm going to be taking today. It is the route that I like. I'm actually using my my Scholar as my tagged character. You get pretty good experience at 62. My main is a Megu. I'll actually be playing the Megu down in Underwater because it's a nice, like I said, absolute chill grind. Underwater, like I said, has a couple of things. There's upper and there's lower. Upper requires less gear. Upper is really good for hunting the merchant ring. If you're somebody looking for treasure items, there is the merchant ring that drops from the emerald, I think they're called. It's EMEROL. It's a big fish looking thing. We'll see it when we get out there. Upper is supposed to be really good for hunting the treasure piece. I haven't really done a lot of upper. It's kind of like, okay, I personally prefer lower. Lower to me is really good. It gives us everything that we're looking for, especially in that mid-game grind. You'll get Tungrad Rings, which sell for an absolute metric ton. You'll get artifacts that you get to melt down, tons of black stones, tons of sealed magical crystals that we get to melt down, Sycrid Songs to make the horse gear for later on in the future, tons of Caphra stones, tons of ancient spirit dust, traveler's maps so that we can travel back and forth and not have to worry, Abyssal Essence, which we're going to use to make our frenzies. The trash on there, I guess, is worth like 10,000 and 18,000. The trash is kind of whatever, but we're mostly hunting the Tungrad Rings. We're hunting the Abyssal Essences. We're hunting the Caphras. We're getting the sealed black magic crystals, and we're getting everything that we need for a mid-game grind. I know there's going to be a lot of people that go, but this spot is better, and this spot does this, and this spot does that. And there are tons and tons of spots. There are tons of ways to absolutely make a killing in currency or silver per hour. And Garmoth in itself will, if you go to Garmoth and go to the global grind tracker, you put the best grind spots in, you put your APDP in, it'll give you spots that you can actually just go out and experiment with. I'm 305, not 310. And you can see for yourself what spots are really, really, really good for you. You know, if you're looking in the mid-game zone and we're looking to see what we're at, you know, you could see there's Shirakan Knight, there's Rudum, there's Star's End, you know, and all of these spots are relatively pretty good. The Sycraia Lower comes in at 463, Gyfin Group 465, Polly's 456, Paddock's 446, and these are all really good. You have pretty much, you have your choice of where to go. If you're really looking for that silver per hour, honestly, and you're just like fresh out of season, I would go to Blood Wolves, man. I would never leave Blood Wolves. You get the Katungnats, you get the Rings, you get the Manos. It's pretty good, man. It's absolutely insane. And then you make your way over to Orc or Jade, depending on what you want to do, or, you know, eventually into Giants. But I really like Underwater. It's heavily uncontested. There's usually not a lot of people there. You get to go and grind and nobody bothers you. It is absolutely stunning. One of the things to note about Underwater, though, if we're going to go into Underwater, we need to buy something before we get down there. We are going to go to the market. We're going to search up fragments of the deep sea. These are really, really, really important into getting into Underwater. We're actually going to buy 5 of these. They're 1.1 million for 5 at the time of recording on the NA market. We're going to get a couple of these. We're going to search up deep sea from our ferries. We're going to grab 5 of these. And we're going to put them and throw them into our Yaz pouch. In our pouch, we're going to make these into a nice cross shape. Once we do this, it is going to give us the option to combine the item. When we combine the item, we're going to get something called Memories of the Deep Sea. The memory is the key. That is how we get into Underwater. As soon as we get over there, I'll walk you through exactly where to go, where to put the key, what landmarks to look for, and everything that you need to know to get yourself into Underwater and start your grind overall. Now, if you go back and you rewind this video and you look and you start the timer and see how long it took, the boat ride out here with a semi-decent boat doesn't take very long. You know, we're auto-pathing. We don't really have anything to worry about. This is the perfect time to go get a snack. It's the perfect time to click that subscribe button to the YouTube channel. Also, it's a great time to come on over and check out the Discord while you're pathing out to Underwater. The Discord in itself is insanely active. We have a bunch of people constantly playing Back Desert Online together. We have a very, very helpful group of people that are willing to answer a ton of questions. And even while I'm recording this video now, looking at the Discord, there are people who are actively hanging out, actively playing. They're constantly talking about BDO. And if you like other games like Last Epoch, Path of Exile, or you want to talk about chess or Diablo, there's people of all different categories and all different games, pretty much just hanging out constantly. And you can find a link to the Discord down below. It is on your screen. Or you can stop on over by the live stream while I'm live. I'm live all the time on Twitch and YouTube. And if you want to have questions about BDO, even if I'm not playing BDO, please feel free to come on, stop by, and ask me a ton of questions. Now that you've clicked on the subscribe button and turn on notifications and you're still sailing on over to Underwater, and you realize that you're still sailing on to Underwater and you're almost there, we can actually just like pay attention to what's going on. Now, I had mentioned that when you're taking the route of the maps and we go on over to Ilia Island, you want to make your way to this little alcove over here. The reason being is since Underwater is in the middle of the ocean, we have to swim out to it. And I know the distance from here to here looks pretty long and pretty large, but it's not really that bad. You'll actually notice very quickly, as soon as we get to this point here and we start turning our way north, we'll actually hit the barrier to Underwater relatively easily. And I know there's a way to like click on the territories and like see where the territories like change. I don't actually know where the button is off the top of my head. I'd have to like look around and play with it. But you see right now we're in the Arsha Sea. We see the beam of light and we're going to make our way on over to Underwater. And as soon as it changes, right there you go, it changed. As soon as it changes, you can see just how far off the shore that I am. We can let go of the stern or the wheel of our boat and we can make our way down into Underwater. The easiest way to do this is to come on over to the escape key, press escape, and then hit yes, and have your character escape right into Underwater. You can indeed swim down there. I know people that do it. I'm not going to do it. I have no intentions of swimming down there, and you can get in relatively easily. Here's a general goods vendor. You could shop, you can grab some quests, you could do what you need to do. And now we're gonna make our way to where we need to go. Actually, yes. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna see that there are two entrances or two pathways. If you look at this and you come this way and you notice this wall here, you're going the wrong way. The easiest way to figure out where to go and how to do it is to run on over here, come out over here. And once you see the little Coliseum out in the distance, you know you're going the right way. This is the Coliseum right up there. We're gonna follow this pathway out over here, and we're gonna notice right on over as we follow the walkway, there are going to be some stairs on our left. So as soon as we see the Coliseum right there, we're gonna see some stairs on our left. We come up the stairs over here, ignoring all the mobs, and then we click on this seal device. This is gonna ask us for that memory or the fragment of the deep sea that we put together, and it's gonna port us right into Underwater. As soon as we come into Underwater, we are pretty much ready to start our grind. The problem now with Underwater is Underwater, when you zone in, is very confusing. I know I get lost all the time down here, and I'm fully expecting to get lost in this video. But coming into Underwater, you'll notice there's a water wall right there. Notice some mobs right away, and pretty much we're just gonna make our way over to the right. We're gonna come through this temple or like little hallway right here. We're gonna see that's a water wall. If we go into this water wall, our character is gonna start swimming, and we don't want to do that. We do want to keep going and following this pathway over here, and we're just gonna make our way on over to the right. We're gonna see this tunnel right here. We're gonna come through this tunnel, and we're just gonna stick to our right and follow the right wall all the way. This is the easiest way that I remember how to do this. I hope to God I'm going the right way. I'll be really embarrassed when I realize that I've gone the wrong way. My buddy Sean's gonna watch this and be like, you're an absolute idiot. And I'll be like, you're right, I'm dumb, I got lost, I'm sorry, forgive me. And then they're gonna laugh at me. Okay. Come through this tunnel, you see the fork in the road, we go left of the fork, and bam, we're at the grind zone. Right, left. We didn't mess it up. We're legends. Okay, we can backtrack. We can actually backtrack this. Okay, we can do this again. We're totally gonna do this again, and we're gonna leave this in the video, and everybody's gonna laugh at me for being kind of dumb. But it's okay though, because I want people to realize and know where we're going and how we came. Okay, we're gonna make our way back to the beginning. We're gonna do this. My buddy Sean's gonna watch this and be like, you dumb. I ran past that so many times, and I'll be like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I am dumb. Okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna make our way back. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. We're gonna see the entrance. We're gonna pop back into Underwater right here. Here's the water wall that we came in, and then we're gonna make our way over to the right again. So it's tunnel. I love this game. I do. I really do. I absolutely love this game. We're going to stick to the right. We're going to keep going to the right. We're going to go through second tunnel. Second tunnel. We're going to keep going straight. I'm not using any movement skills. I know I have a bunch of movement skills on Scholar, but I want everybody to be able to see this without me doing 100 flashy movements. We're going to keep going straight to the third tunnel, come into the third tunnel, see the fork in the road, and make our way to the left. As soon as we make our way to the left, we are thrilled. We are here. We are going to drop our tent right here. Actually, I'm going to swap characters to do this. We're going to swap to the Megu. I prefer playing the Megu down here. It's a lot more fun. Any character works really well. I just really like my Megu, man. No matter how much I try other characters, I constantly find myself going back to my Megu because she is just like everything I want in a character. Absolutely everything I want in a character. Okay. Okay. We're going to put our tent down. We're going to do our pre-flight. We're going to feed our pets. We're going to go to our tent. We're going to buy our Villa Scroll. We're going to repair all of our gear. We're going to make sure that we're good to go. And if we're going to use any buffs at all, the simplest buff to use is a simple cron meal. And if you have Frenzy Droughts, I would 100% recommend a Frenzy Drought or a Frenzy Drought of Corruption. If you don't know what a Frenzy Drought of Corruption is, pretty much it is a Frenzy Drought combined with a Corrupted Breath. You take 1 and 1, you simple lock them together, and it makes yourself a Frenzy Drought of Corruption. I wouldn't use elixirs. I wouldn't use perfumes. I wouldn't really use anything fancy. I would use a basic Lightstone set. My Lightstone set is actually, my Kabuas are on my other character. I would just use just a regular Lightstone set. You know, let's see. We'll grab 2 of these. We're just going to infuse. We'll put some Lightstones in. We don't have any Lightstones. Oh no, this is a mess. We have some Lightstones. We're going to take 3 of these and 1 of these. You should use a Lightstone set that's suitable to your class and that deals a lot of damage. Don't just use the random hootenannies that I'm putting in. I'm just using a random hootenanny stuff right now for this video. Is this the right stone? Wait a minute. I thought these were supposed to be predations. Okay, anyways, we're just gonna put these on and we'll deal with the Lightstone set later. Your guys are more caring about like the actual rotation than me having the right Lightstone set up. At least I hope, fingers crossed. If you have a Vel's Heart, turn on your Vel's Heart and pretty much just get ready to grind. I know I'm gonna get laughed at for that Lightstone setup, but it's fine. Turn on your loot scroll, and if you so choose to, and you have the money to, and it's not going to break the bank, you can indeed buy a Camping Adventurers buff for more loot drop rate. Currently, at the time of recording right now, there is a loot drop rate going on. I am at 283 because of server-wide buffs. I will go into the store over here, the shop. I will buy the 20 mil. I will go to 303%, and I'll start grinding. Once you leave this tunnel, the easiest way to do this grind, and I'll do this grind for a little bit in this video, is to start with this pack right here. We'll kill this pack right away. Pretty simple. And then we have another pack over here to our left. And this big room that we're in is going to be the start of our grind. This room here is also the Marnie Realm room. So if there is somebody grinding or things do go to hell, you can indeed just Marnie zone out. This big room right here, we're going to make our way to the right. We're going to go to the pack right here. And we're pretty much just going to work on clearing out this whole room. These big statues, these eyes of the deep sea, these statues that you see me killing, they will debuff you. These towers are very annoying. They will be the reason that you die if you do die, because they managed to debuff you and you didn't kill them fast enough. One of the things that you should do is, if you are going to pull a pack of mobs, like you see this pack here, pull the pack away from the statue, don't include the statue, and then when it's time to do the statue pack, pull the mobs onto the statue, rotate your way to the back of the statue so that it's not facing you, and kill the pack with the statue. And then we just rotate our way around this ginormous room. One of the things that you're going to notice with Underwater is that there's a lot, and I mean a lot of little robot fishies. They are pretty hard to see your first couple of times down here. You're not really going to notice what they look like. And, you know, overall, they just kind of like really blend in with the environment. The big mobs that you really care about killing are, one, you care about those statues, and two, you care about this emerald right here. This big guy has the opportunity to drop you the merchant ring piece. He's pretty valuable and pretty rare, and if the merchant ring piece is something that you're interested in hunting, it's something that you want to make sure that you kill them. Once you clear out this whole room, as you get faster and start working your rotation, you're going to want to make your way to this pathway up here. And the rotation in itself will become more clear as I go through it and do it a couple of times in this video. And you'll make your way up this hill. There'll be a pack over here on your left. There'll be a pack over here on your right. And you'll just pretty much just work your way in a giant BDO fashion circle back to the start of what you're trying to do. Now you'll see there's another pack over here. We're going to kill this pack over here. There's another emerald. We're going to make sure that we kill the emerald. We're getting a bunch of Abyssal Essences already, and every single mob down here can indeed drop a Tungrad Ring. I don't know how often they are going to drop for you, but when I was down here grinding very frequently, I was getting 1 to 2 rings an hour. Some hours I got more, some hours I got less. Now, as soon as you come across that bridge, you'll notice that there's another emerald and another pack of mobs. We make our way down this hill here, and we're back at the beginning grind spot. And then you see, by the time we get back down here, even with my crazy amount of high overcapped AP, all of the mobs have respawned back, and we can just pretty much start our grind all over again. Now, I had mentioned it, and I'll say this again, this grind to me is really simple, really straightforward. It feels really smooth. There's a ton of mobs down here, and is an absolute great place for you as a, you know, mid-tier grind zone player to really start to get a feel for your character. It really forces you to have your rotation pretty much set up until you overgear the spot. You'll have to have, like, you know, just your wits about, essentially, at least to start. Once you start getting the feel for it, know where all the statues are, know where all the pulls are, know how that you can get the mobs, this is easily one of the best, absolute best grind zones that I can highly recommend. I originally played Black Desert Online years and years and years ago, and I took an extended break, right about the time Underwater came out. And I had a lot of friends back in the day that used to grind down here, and I remember hearing amazing stories of them finding insane loot, them having the time of their lives. They had such a chill time grinding. And when I came back to Black Desert Online and I was looking for advice and I was talking to some of my friends who were still playing, they recommended this spot to me. Usually you hear a lot of people tell mid-game players, you know, you immediately want to go to Orcs. Orcs is the best money per hour. Orcs is the best silver per hour. Orcs this, Orcs that, or Cups this, Cups that. And I do agree. I think they're pretty good. But usually Orcs is pretty contested. Some Cup spots sometimes are contested, especially during drop rate events. But this spot, you see, we rolled right up into it. There was nobody down here. There's the odds of finding somebody down here usually are pretty slim. I don't think I would come down here on Arsha, especially during a drop rate event. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people on Arsha. And one of the biggest reasons why people come down here is they're pretty much looking for those Abyssal Essences. They're looking for the Merchant Ring piece. And overall, especially with the change to Tungrad set and 5-piece Tungrad, people want to farm Tungrad Rings. This is a really good spot for Tungrad Rings. Okay, we go back over this. We come on over here. We kill this. We shoot this. And that in itself is the rotation. Now I'm going to include another 5 minutes of me grinding down here. I'll stop my yapping. I'll take my face off the screen and I'll let you guys overall just see what the grind looks like, how it plays out, what you two can expect while I'm grinding. This way you guys, you know, can get a real feel for it. But if you like this video, you like this style of video, you want to see more Black Desert Online content alongside Path of Exile content, please don't hesitate to leave a like, a comment, share this video. Let me know. Is there something you like, something you didn't like? Come on over to the Discord and talk Black Desert Online with me and the community. We would love to hear from you. And any advice or any feedback was greatly appreciated. But for now, friends, I'm going to get to grinding and get this video out to you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.
You want to 유원지와 허리 정리 유원지와 혹생 허리 정리 서져서 하자 유원지와 유원지와 허리 정리 혹생 유원지와 허리 정리